Hello, everybody. Welcome to part two. I know we were in the middle of kind of giving a bit of a preview of a little ASDF parody before, but then my internet decided to take like one of the weirdest shits ever. It went down for a while, then it came back up, but it would only let me use Skype and things like that. Nothing web based would resolve at all. I mean, I could get into the web interface from my router and everything, but nothing else would resolve. And it was really weird. And I had to keep, shutting down my modem and router for a while, bringing it back up, messing with things. Finally, everything kicked back into gear. Um, Richard's getting some food, and you've only got like 30 minutes left anyway.
Hmm.
So, Daniel's over there just getting a little pussy. He's got his cat over there with him. Well, you
Oh,
had
no, we left my lab.
oh,
It
the pussy was in your lap. You were
was.
stroking the pussy and everything. Kind of doing looking for that little bit of public action there with the getting some pussy on cam. Um, there's pussy on cam.
Say hello, Oreo.
Yeah, I've got pumpkin ball, Fluffy, and Sandy.
We
Not
actually didn't.
not directly with me. They're elsewhere at the moment.
So I'm just curious. What did you actually have to do to get your router and everything, or your interwebs back functioning?
Well, all I did, like I just said, is I just, shut it off for a bit, turned it back on, kept repeating the process until eventually just decided to click in. So, anyway, when I finally came back in, although the recording had completely stopped by this time and YouTube saying, fuck you, I'm not going to continue it, and right before you had to leave, you were talking about something about DeviantArt and Amazon.com and something like that. Like I only like got part of it. Like what were you
Oh,
going to talk
oh
about?
yeah, that conversation. It was quite funny when you dropped out, and General Tate and I were just like, okay, Dave's gone. Uh, that was funny. So what we were talking about is I threw out a suggestion that, and I've actually had this on my mind for quite a while, is some sort of program to you have. I'm sure you've encountered this before, is when people will threaten their own lives for some reason or another over the web, whether it be DeviantArt, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Um, I just started taking a computer science course this year, and the hidden reason behind that one was that class was to actually start learning code to write a program or virus or worm that is able to go through DeviantArt, go through their or this was the plan, go through DeviantArt, find the persons who sent out the that journal or deviation or status update, and ping their location. Now, there's two issues with that. One is because DeviantArt used to own its own and maintain its own servers, and what was really funny is their one of their IT guys was named is Sasha, and he was Russian, uh, referencing the earlier thing we were doing. Um, um, and but now they moved out of that, and right now nowadays they are running off of Amazon Web Services. So it's not like Amazon bought DeviantArt. Um, it's just that DeviantArt, I guess, got tired of running its own servers because there were so many issues. You can imagine having to run or keep at least 500 machines running properly. Um, that would be hell. Um, but anyway, they bought some. So now they run on Amazon Web Services. Um, So there comes the issue where if you actually want to ping somebody's location, first you have to get through DeviantArt's website, and then you have to go into Amazon. Then you have to get an admin, get like an admin password and admin access. Then find out who was which IP address sent it out, and then you have to figure out which computer or phone or tablet or desktop on that IP address sent out the
I think the method to your madness that you were going with this is make a program that could track that and send that information off to local authorities. But because they did this little switch, that now makes that much harder to do.
yes, the thing is, it's like, okay, if you were just hacking through DeviantArt servers, it's like, okay, it's illegal. And then when you're doing it to DeviantArt and then Amazon, then you're like doubling up the illegality. Especially if it's Amazon, it's like you don't want to get in trouble with that.
Yeah, well then, I guess the only thing that you'd be able to do is basically, if you were a good enough coder and could approach Amazon, just be like, look, I want to make this program that, scans through and looks for, suicide posts and, gets the IP information and then, emails that to whatever authorities are local to that IP with a direct link to the, suicide thing so that the local authorities could then, handle it appropriately. And then Amazon might go, well, if you're willing to code that, then okay, we can let you do that.
I think it would be not only just Amazon. I would have to go because Microsoft does web service hosting. You'd have to go to them. You'd have to go to DeviantArt. If you were doing it on other social media websites, you have to go to like Twitter, Facebook.
Of course, you'd have to start somewhere.
Yeah, it would.
If you started with Amazon and they're like, okay, sure, you could do that, then you set a precedence, and then you could go to other places and go, well, Amazon let me do that, and here's how it's been working out for us so far. Would it be? Would you like to hook into this system as well? And if so, how would you like us to do that? Because obviously hacking you is illegal, so you have to give us a way in.
Yeah, that's the. And then GeneralTate, when he and I were talking before, was he said, now the only issue with that is if someone with, say, someone on the dark web gets a hold of that source code, and I don't, it was, I forget which website he was referencing. He said if somebody on that website got a hold of that source code, you have a major crisis on your hands because then people are able to ping others' locations
Based on just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Any other criteria you want to stick in there?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. With code like that, that sort of stuff probably already exists on the dark web for nefarious purposes anyway. Because, I mean, obviously, if you could make something like that, then some much better and much more creepy coder probably already made exactly what you're worrying about them making. And they probably had that for like the last 20 years now. So
you can pull the same trick on them. You can say, hey, you can ask them, hey, do you have this type of code? And they can, you can ask them for that. The issue is it's dealing with shady people.
my point is that if you can think of it now, somebody else has already thought of it probably 15, 20 years ago, and has been doing it ever since. So you don't have to worry about that getting compromised because it was compromised before you were born, so you don't have to worry about
yes.
it. Now you're using a similar sort of code for a positive purpose.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Now the issue is I would definitely want to avoid publicity with this.
Yeah.
Um, it's not that I don't. It's not that I hate being a public figure. It's not that I hate talking with people or public speaking, but it's this issue that you have all these um or um you have all these people that I'm just going to say, we'll just take conservative Republicans, for instance, and I know this wouldn't be the only group of people, but it'd be a fairly surefire shot.
The
Um,
Democrats and the Republicans.
uh, anyone really. Um, I like to bash on the Republicans because it's a lot more fun, or it's funny.
Well, I think it's two wings, one bird.
That's true.
We call it
uh,
the right wing and the left wing. Let's put the analogy together. You got to figure it's one bird going like this, and the wings are all pretending to fight with each other when really it's just controlled opposition. It's like
mhm,
WWE wrestling. Doesn't matter whether or not Stone Cold or The Rock wins because it's Vince McMahon's fucking company. Either way.
exactly. Well, so some of the, let's just say more. I'm not even going to reference the political parties or anything like that anymore. It would be people who have the improper idea about, or not improper. What am I saying? I sound like a moron.
In other
Um,
words, people who like to blame the tools for everything instead of encouraging people to take responsibility for their actions and encouraging critical thinking and encouraging common sense. Instead of encouraging that, they're like, ban everything because everything's bad and we should have a nanny state do everything for us and we shouldn't actually have any tools because we might hurt ourselves or others. So instead of teaching people how to actually do things properly, let's ban forks, let's ban knives, let's ban matches, let's ban guns, let's ban programs that have a positive purpose, but some people might use it negatively, and they probably already are. So all you're doing is banning the positive because the negative people are going to do it anyway.
yeah, that's like one wing of it, and then the other wing of it I see is not banning it, but it's the people who are extraordinarily concerned about um, say their own security. And to be completely fair, as you've referenced so many times already, you've said that people, if somebody like me who has very little idea how to code, very um knows doesn't know exactly the a lot about a lot of operating systems and such, can think of something like this, then there's probably already something used for nefarious purposes. I think people would not look at it that way, but they would look at it as a breach of their security and be ban it, ban it, ban it, but for a different reason. Because they'd be like, "Oh, I'm scared of being like um, stalked or looked over," which, to be fair, is, I guess, a valid concern, but
But
to
also
be
a moot concern because there's already out there with that type of code that are already stalking, already looking over, already
yes.
nefarious shit. So it's like, seeing as that's already there and it's going to be there no matter what, and there ain't shit you can do about it. What you can do is use that same technology for positive means, since it's already being used ad nauseum for lots and lots of negative, nefarious things, whether people realize it or not. So why not use it for positive things?
Yeah, it's the same. I really can't think of an example off the top of my head, but I feel like it would be something Bill O'Reilly or another conservative, or actually, it wouldn't even have to be a conservative. It would be anyone would,
Video games are evil. They teach kids how to murder. We shouldn't have any video games. They're evil, and they teach kids how to murder. And
yes.
video games that are at fault for the way society is right now. Really? So, what version of the Xbox did they have during the 1400s? Please tell me.
The Xbox non-existent. I had I that
No,
actually.
they had the Abacus box.
Ooh, true. That reminds me of another thing. Um, there was a story about like 2 months ago where these two Taiwanese immigrants had a child here. And have you ever heard the term tiger mom or tiger dad before? Have you ever heard that?
No.
It's a reference to, okay, let's say you got an A- on a test. They would say, oh, that's the same as an F. Sort of like completely downplaying your ability, completely sort of that. Um,
In other words, ultimate control freak that
yes,
basically understands that the more berated and insecure they can make you feel, the more they can manipulate you, and thus the more they can manipulate you, the more they can power play you and put you under their control and do all sorts of mind games, basically exactly like what corporate controlled government in league with the mainstream does to the entire population of the planet. So
exactly.
we've got,
But on a much smaller
tiger,
scale.
tiger big brother.
So this girl, she never really had any chances to make friends. She would hardly ever go over to her friend's house. She always was doing some extracurricular activity, whether it be piano or
In
something else. And
order to not be at home to avoid the tyranny.
that and well, her parents made her do those things. She never had any time to herself. Look at it that way.
Yeah.
Um, and so what she did is when she her in like her sophomore year of high school, her grades started slumping, and she was smart enough to print out fake report cards and tell her parents, "Oh, I'm still getting A's," while the school was saying, "No, you're getting C's and D's, and you're failing classes." She did graduate, um, and then, or did she graduate? Did she drop out of school? I've totally forgotten at this point. She graduated, I think, and then she faked getting into college. And then she faked that for 2 years, and then her dad found out, I think.
Uh-huh.
And then her dad, like, I forget it. And then he did something to her or something like that. He basically disowned her. And then she knew a friend of hers that knew a hitman.
Oh.
So she hired a hitman for $10,000 to kill both of her parents. The hitmen, there were three of them, killed the mom and severely wounded the father, which, and the way I tie this back into your point, the point about video games make kids violent, it's like, no, not entirely. If you show that, the reason why somebody was asking me why did this person do that, and my answer is always, if you show people one extreme and the other extreme, then, or if you never expose somebody to one extreme, they're more likely to go to an extreme.
I think maybe the better way to say that is that all humans only operate based on what they know. So if they weren't shown love and compassion and support, and all they were ever shown is spite and neglect and contempt and hate and all the negative stuff, then they're probably most likely going to be a negative person. And negative people tend to do negative things. And when someone is really, 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 really negative, they're probably going to do really, 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 really negative things.
Yeah, it's like a cause and effect thing, but on a very large scale. I have never met a single person
It's a
who,
fractal. You might say it's on a fractal scale.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is kind of symbiotically related to everything else.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like how people, if you say that about video games, you like, I always hate bringing this argument up, but it's like when people will kill in the name of religion. I have nothing against religion, even though I myself am an atheist. I know there are plenty of churches who do amazing things, and I thank them for that. It's when
I
people,
think there's a difference between religion and spirituality. I
yes,
I think that Jesus was spiritual and he preached heavily against religion. Hence his warnings about the scribes and the Pharisees and all their mind games, that he talks about in there. I don't and look at the way modern organized religion is now.
oh
It's
my God.
the same bullshit as back then, but on a grander scale. And Jesus was pointing at that, going, "See those guys? They'll fuck with your head. You might want to stay away from that shit."
Which is kind of an ironic statement considering they're following him, and then
Yeah, and then
it's a big elaborate
these
thing of
spiritual
bull.
teachings get hijacked and turned into a religion and then twisted and mangled and manipulated and used as population control through fear.
Correct. And I always say the worst way to control a people and the worst way to control a child or to control anyone, frankly, is through fear. It it never and I'll bring up critical thinking because it never allows that person to have critical thinking skills. It never allows them to do really anything with the
And
mind.
the Prussian indoctrination system, which is what the Prussian educational system, which is an indoctrination system, which our current system is based off of, and the one who created the Prussian system was also the father of neo-Nazism, which goes back to Hitler's quote, and I quote, "The beautiful thing about the totalitarian state is that it forces those um, who fear it to emulate it."
Yes, it's like
You become
it's
you become what you fight.
exactly.
Now, there's a difference between raging against something and self defense. I'm not suggesting anybody bend over and be like, "Oh, well, I shouldn't fight, so I'm just gonna, yeah, okay, fuck me." Yeah, I'm not. No, no, I'm not suggesting submitting to nefarious shit. I'm just saying that when you got that like rage, that like, yeah, fuck them, I hate them, then it's like being drunk and on crack and on speed and on everything else all at once. The brain is in fight or flight. It goes to pudding. It can't think rationally, and you just become like a rabid animal, just attacking whatever, whoever, and that's the end result.
That was a great way of putting it. It turns to mush.
Yeah,
Just
not recommended. It's just
it's like getting high, but it's not. It's like getting high, but it retains all the sucky features.
yeah. Then of course, there's the fake positive. Like, I'm a positive, but shun the dark. If you look at the dark, you give power to it, and I'm like, okay,
I try
if you are judging the negative negatively, then isn't that being
just
negative?
as judgmental.
How about looking at the negative as a positive opportunity for positive change? Like, for example, oh, look at that negative mess. This might just be a positive opportunity to clean up the mess, and maybe I'll even learn something in the process. That's a positive outlook, not like, oh, if I acknowledge the mess, I'm giving power to it. No. If you ignore the mess, it's rotting and developing bacteria and disease and spreading and festering, and little, dangerous animals are laying their eggs in it, and God only knows what. Just like if you ignore the roaches in the walls, they don't die, they breed.
It's not like, oh, there's a roach. I'm going. No, no, you're not there. You're not there. It's like, no, the roach doesn't poof, disappear. I
I'm gonna
hate.
kill that roach. I'm just going to ignore it out of existence. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll show that roach.
It's kind of like my cat when it glares at me. It's like, I'm going to glare you out of existence. It's like, no, you're not. It's the same principle that cats have when they're glaring you down. They're trying to they want you to die, but you just simply don't.
It's like being in a burning building and going, there is no fire, there is no fire, there is no fire, there is no fire, there is no fire. If I see the fire, then I'm giving it power and it'll burn me. So no, there's no fire, there's no fire, there's no fire.
That is one way of, that's another great way of putting it. There's no fire. Then what is that slightly orange gas that is protruding from your shirt, sir? Um, Great question. It burns. Really?
Have you seen my little deviation that's got the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, but with skeletons? And it says, if you wouldn't drive your car like this, why would you live your life like this?
Oh, I think yes, I have seen that one. I have seen that one. Yes. It funny. It's always interesting to do that with like some of my friends, because my friends are just, shall we say, do not have friends like you, Dave. Um, um, so it's kind of interesting to see when you say these things like, I want. Oh, hello again.
Hello.
Hello. And as far as the image that I was referring to, just so anybody else watching,
Knows exactly what we're talking about.
yeah. Oh, and let me make sure I clicked the little present to everyone button. So, if it is dangerous to drive your car this way, then why would you think it's safe to live your life this way?
I completely agree with that. Holy balls, 11,393 messages. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Damn.
A blessing and a curse all at once.
Yes, it's like popularity, but so many messages.
Well, I only have like 300 some odd followers, getting kind of close to 400, but not quite there yet. And people ask me, wow, you've been on DeviantArt for 10 years, but you only have that many followers? Why is that? I'm like, well, look at the type of stuff I make. And they're like, oh, yeah, I see your point.
I'm the
Oh,
same way. It's like either people like what I post and what I do and they love me for it, or they just totally hate me and don't want anything to do with me.
what's really funny with me is like people. I have 108 watchers now. I just got another one. Like I kid you not, 5 minutes. Let's see, how many minutes ago was it now? 10 minutes ago. I now have 108 watchers. Now here now here's the thing. With 108 watchers, guess how many comments I get on, let's say, my writing stuff, which is the stuff I take the most pride in, which is, I write something, I'll sit down, it'll take me like 3 or 4 hours to type out something, and then nothing. It's like, why is it so impossible to get advice? Okay, give me 1 sec. All right, I will have to go now.
I'm guessing, yes.
All right, it was nice talking to you.
You as well. It's good that we could at least in a part two instead of just like internet goes.
Internet was like
Yeah,
died.
you don't get an ending. Sorry, watchers, viewers, subscribers. YouTube
Sorry.
says fuck you.
No.
Now, at least we were able to continue it with a part two and close it off properly so that that people weren't like, okay, ASDF, and then, huh?
Confusing video is confusing.
Yeah. So we'll talk about this stuff again when you can, next year some time. But in the meantime, take care, have fun, catch you later. I guess Rich can continue this a little bit more in your absence, and then just kind of bring that to a close.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Yep, not a problem. Catch you next time. Alrighty, so anything you were going to say about anything, before you, left to get food and whatever else? And my internet went and all the other shit.
No, everything I was talking about was when it was off air, but he was talking about interesting software programs with, suicide.
We went over that. He went fully into detail about that because I was asking, what's up with the whole you were mentioning Amazon?
Okay.
He went into the whole thing. He went fully.
Okay, so I don't have to say anything or repeat anything. But I was going to say it's a good idea, except if the only problem is DA itself is full, as we've talked before, with an incompetent staff that wouldn't do anything like that. Because their motive is profit, not actually caring about their users.
Yeah. Well, he was expanding the idea to Amazon and, other sites and services, linking into that sort of thing. And, and then we just kind of moved on from from there, and there was just a gradual shifting of topics and talking about, the educational system and critical thinking or the lack thereof it in the educational system, and going back to the Prussian indoctrination system and Hitler and aka Kristen's father. Oh no, wait, not that Hitler, my bad. Anyway, but yeah, so we were just you popped in where you popped in, and here we are. So yeah, pretty much.
Well, last couple of weeks have been really interesting. Just kind of, slow, but I've been finding things to do. I've been working around here. I've been looking mainly at job stuff lately. It's just kind of, is what it is. Job market sucks right now. Economy's not good, etc., so on and so forth.
Well, hey, good opportunity for, getting your YouTube channel together, starting to make some money with that. And you also know that sooner rather than later, Millionaire is going to hire you back. So it's all good. It's just kind of an opportunity for you to sort things out and take a breather and have some more ease and flow productivity rather than the hammer and nails kind, if you know what I mean. And he bombed out. Okay. I guess everyone's having fun with their internet connection today. Fun with internet. Let's see if he comes back. Come back, Mr. Tate. There you are. Welcome back. Excuse me. I think you're back. You are back, right? Yeah, there you are. Although I hear nothing. I hear nothing. I hear zero. For reasons unknown, I hear nothing. Absolutely nothing is what I hear. And now he's gone.
Oh, now I can hear you.
There you are. Welcome back.
Yeah, my browser crashed again.
Well, all I was saying is that this is just an opportunity for you to, have some ease and flow with your productivity and, you know, relax into some YouTube stuff and make some money that way. And inevitably, Millionaire will be hiring you back. I'm sure they already pretty much said as much. So, it's just an opportunity to show yourself that you can be productive on an ease and flow rather than a, boot up the head sort of.
Yeah. Hell, I might as well do that. I've been productive with a lot of other stuff. I might as well look in my YouTube and
Yeah, you got that
get on that a
badass
little bit.
internet connection now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no reason why I shouldn't.
Exactly.
Like, but for meantime, I just want to find something at some point. It was interesting. My mother called me earlier on the phone,
Uh-huh.
and apparently one of her coworkers' husbands or whatever needed help with a roof or something, but they said that he'd call me back, and he hasn't called me back yet at all. So I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it's not urgent. Maybe it's just something to where they're replacing something or doing general construction, and it's something that might take a week to complete. So it's not like it's, oh shit, drop everything and help now, or the roof is going to catch fire, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know a lot of those construction jobs can be days and days and days, sometimes longer.
I think it's just somebody working on their house. I don't think it's construction.
No, by construction, I just mean the type of job.
Oh, it's just, I guess the guy's working on shingles on his roof or whatever, and he needs somebody to help, peel the shingles off and stuff.
Exactly. In Chicago, that's a part of the classification of construction work. Roofing, new front porch, new sidewalks, drywall. So it's construction.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so should wrap this up as far as the broadcast is concerned, or is there anything else you wanted to add?
Not really. I'm just, pretty much describing what I've been doing lately, and that's pretty much that. I don't really have anything else to say.
Yep. Me neither. Not on, the topics and stuff that, we've been discussing here. So I guess we can end it here. Thanks everybody for watching, and, sorry about the glitches and, this needing a part 2 and all that crazy stuff. But, it happens. Internet can be a very strange thing sometimes. Very strange indeed. So, believe nothing, disbelieve nothing, question everything, and catch y'all later.